The bliss of the abyss, it's here now.
What's going on? Hello, welcome to the Bliss of the Abyss, the strongest podcast in the world, hosted by the world's strongest man. It's me, it's Neumark Jones. I'm here. I'm coming at you live. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing underwear. I'm drinking an iced coffee. How are you? How have you been? I have been fine, thank you. When was the last time I spoke to you? It's been a bit of a crazy time. So let me catch you up with all the details. I went to Poland. I'm allowed to go to Poland. You're not. I am. I went to Poland and I dropped my phone in the sea. That's why I've been gone. Oops. What else has happened? It's been Caitlin's birthday. She has got her British passport now. Literally an actual passport. I've been doing work, this, that, the other. I'm going on a stag weekend this weekend. I mean, I was banned from Facebook. I've got so much to catch you up on. Let me just take a sip of this coffee. What's the most interesting part? What's the most curious, strange part of my life that could make for good content at this point? I don't know. I've been doing a lot of watching politics stuff. So that's kind of dominating my mind right now. It's been a very busy time for lots of small little voice jobs and end of term tutoring stuff. Lots of kids getting A stars in their exams thanks to yours truly, me. I hope. It's always been that way. If you would like your kids to do well at school, send them my way. I might sound mad, and I am mad, but children like that, and it helps them learn. I also found this, for those of you watching on stream. Look at this. Graham, I'll get rid of his details. Mind reader. It's a business card for a mind reader. Let's go. mindreader.co.uk. Graham Jolly, he's getting some free free plug right now. Mind reader, Graham P. Jolly. Contact. He's got a YouTube, so he's a public person. I don't have to worry about that. I found this. He's got 17 subscribers and 18 videos.
Hello, it's Graham Jolly here. I've just come off stage at the lovely Clevedon House. Wonderful audience. Really, I'm inviting you to have a look at my YouTube account, my new YouTube account. Television appearances over the years, live performances in cabaret up and down the country, conferences, and also television. Penn and Teller, Jonathan Ross, even going back to Wogan. So I hope you'll have a look. So may I invite you to subscribe, like, and get in touch with me if you feel like.
I will do, Graham. I mean, I'm subscribing now. He's been on GB News. He's been on Wogan. I just want to actually see him reading someone's mind, though. My second Wogan appearance, 24 views 5 months ago. Let's have a look. Let's see if he can read Terry Wogan's mind. Come on then, Graham. Graham Jolly. How have I got his business card, you may ask? Wasn't from my trip to Poland. By the way, I would recommend everybody go to Poland. Go to Poland. Specifically, I went to Gdansk, which I would also recommend you go to. It was great. Gdansk, go to Gdansk. It's great. Go to Poland. It's wonderful. You will eat a lot of Polish food. If you don't like Polish food, what's wrong with you?
Thank you, Terry. I wanted to come back because
here's
I want
Graham.
to have another attempt at reading your mind. Terry, just close your eyes.
Here we go.
Is it dark? Open your eyes now, Terry. In your mind, I want you to think of a simple picture or drawing. I'll hand you my pen.
Can I just...
Turn away.
Yeah.
And just draw. I can't see in the monitor. I can't see what Terry's doing. Just draw a simple shape or picture, if you would, Terry. Let me know when you've done so.
Mind reading. This is just
All
a
right.
magic trick.
Would you place the pen on the table?
Wait, I'm not finished.
I'm sorry. No need to get irritable. Now...
There's a lot of detail on this.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, let's place
Right.
the pen on the table.
Pen on the table.
Sorry, would you remove the piece of paper and fold it up, if you would, please?
Certainly.
Let me
fold
know
it
when I
up,
can
Graham.
turn.
Just give me a chance.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Okay, so
Okay, you can turn
he's
around.
doing the
All right,
magic
can't
trick
see
thing
it.
of.
Okay. Fold it once more.
For those of you not watching, he's turned his back. It's on TV. They're both standing up. He's turned his back, and he's asked him to draw something on a piece of paper. Terry Wogan has now drawn something on a piece of paper. He's folded it up. He's turned back around. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he reads his mind.
You would.
Okay.
Just hold it up to the light, would you, just to confirm.
You mean hold it up, fold it.
That's right.
Fold it.
And just confirm that you can't see through the actual piece of
Yeah.
paper. Is that true? Would you?
Nobody can see through that,
Okay.
and I'm sure nobody at home.
Seal it in the envelope, would you, Terry?
Certainly will. It doesn't fit. Oh, yes, it does. Yeah. Do I lick it?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Would you stop ad-libbing? Now, Terry.
Those are unscripted. What are you talking about?
Terry, think of your drawing.
Okay.
Try, if you would, to project the drawing to me,
Okay.
but say nothing. Are you artistic, Terry? I'll tell you why I ask. I want to know if this is an accurate interpretation of your thought, or was it more symbolic?
Did he say artistic or autistic? Hear that again. Surely he didn't say. Are you autistic, Terry?
To me,
Okay.
but say nothing. Are you artistic, Terry? I'll tell you why I ask. I want to know if this is an accurate interpretation of
Okay.
your thought, or was it more
Artistic.
symbolic? Do you understand the question? I'm a little confused here, Terry, but I'm taking a chance.
Okay.
Terry, I've committed myself.
It wasn't a great drawing that I did. Simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
I anticipated this. Terry, there's my commitment.
Okay.
Would you let everybody see, just to remove your
No,
drawing?
I can't see that, so I don't know what
Okay.
you're drawing. Okay, now do you want me to show this to the
I'd
audience?
like you to show the viewers
Pleasure.
Oh,
The
this
audience.
is Graham.
your drawing. What is that?
It's an aeroplane.
What do you mean, what is it?
I hope that is an aeroplane. Now,
It's an aeroplane. It's an aeroplane.
this is extraordinary.
He's also drawn an aeroplane. This is not mind reading. Also, Terry Wogan's been dead for ages. This was recorded at least 20 years ago, and he looks already like... I mean, not to disparage Graham, I'm not ageist, but I have to say he looks very old already. Listen, if you want to have your mind read, and who doesn't, quite frankly, if you would like your mind read, why not go to grahamjolly.com. That's Jolly, spelled E-Y. That's not his web address, though. It's mindreader.co.uk. There's a gallery. An irrepressible personality. Here he is with, sort of some famous people. That's Charlie Duke, the 10th man to walk on the moon. The reigning monarch of the Principality of Monaco. Stuff like that. So look, Graham, thanks, mate. What do you think of that? Is that interesting in any way? I don't know. I've been watching too much of the politics stuff. So I will tell you about Poland. My phone that went in the sea, getting banned from Facebook. I'll tell you all of that. Because that, of course, why else would you be listening to this podcast if you weren't interested in that? But I do just have to say, this election that's been called is just mayhem, isn't it? It's just car crash after car crash. So for those of you who are not in the UK or don't keep up with British politics, we are in the midst of an election cycle now. There will be a general election on the 4th of July, Independence Day. Oh, yeah. And the Conservatives in the polls have been down for a long time, by a long way. So obviously they're going to try all they can to try and win back those polls. Win the public's hearts and minds, you would think, would be a good way to go. So what does Rishi Sunak do, Prime Minister? He attends a D-Day event in Normandy for the veterans on the 80th anniversary of when they stormed the beaches, turning the tide in World War II against the Nazis. I've always preferred that way of saying it instead of my own pronunciation, which is Nazi. I always feel it sounds a bit posho. I like Nazis. They were Nazis. Wait, it's just so that's not clipped out of context. I don't like Nazis. I like the pronunciation Nazi better than Nazi. Anyway, he attends this commemoration, big, somber, international event. All these veterans, probably the last time for a lot of them that they'll be there. And some have travelled halfway around the world to be there. We've got Joe Biden in attendance, Macron, Zelensky. I mean, his country is at war. So you'd think Sunak, big election cycle, this is a big opportunity to make a big splash on the world stage. But what does he do? He buggers off early. He didn't stay there for the whole thing. He buggered off early. And he leaves David Cameron in his place. So there's a picture of the world leaders. There's Macron.
Did you realise at the beginning of that interview?
There's apologies.
Big.
And there's David Cameron stood there like he's still Prime Minister, like he was 15 years ago, or however long it's been. 9 years was it that he stepped down, or not stepped down? You know what I mean. So he leaves. Apparently D-Day's not important enough. That's obviously what the journos are going with, right? Which, hard to disagree with, I would say. Anyway, he leaves. Why? Well, there could be a valid reason, couldn't there? Let's blue sky it, brainstorm it. So, you're running an election campaign. You want to try and win. There's this massive international celebration. You make a decision that you're going to go home early instead of stay for the whole thing. What's the reason that's big enough that you can justify it? It's got to be like death of a monarch. It's got to be family emergency. It's got to be Reichstag fire. It's got to be at that level, right? It can't just be so that I can record an interview, a pre-recorded interview with ITV. But that is what it was. It was just so he could go back and record an interview. And then, because obviously people are like, that's outrageous you didn't stay. And the reason you didn't stay is because you wanted to pre-record an interview. And he comes out and says, no, well, look, the schedule was agreed weeks ago. It's all set in stone weeks ago. So in which case, he was always going to leave early. So it's not even about the election then. So you already were going to leave early. So he gives this ridiculous... He does this interview, which is a pre-record. It's only just come out. And some of the things he says in this interview beg a belief. And if you haven't heard any...
Big deal this was about to become. We knew he'd come back and was missing the French event. Did you know quite how significant that was going to turn out to be?
No, I can honestly say it's the first time I think I've heard an interview with a politician that sparked outrage at that politician before it's even aired.
So this is an exclusive poll for this programme for Good Morning Britain. And let's have a look.
So what he says is worth listening to if you've not heard it, because he's just got all of the charisma of a flat pancake. And so just some example.
Have you ever gone without something?
Yeah, I mean, my family emigrated here with very little. Mm-hmm. And that's how I was raised. I was raised with the values of hard work.
What did you go without as a child?
I went out with lots of things, right? Because my parents wanted to put everything into our education, and that was a priority.
So what sort of things had to be sacrificed?
Okay, what do you think he's going to say? What had to be sacrificed? What had to be sacrificed growing up? Sunak. Rishi Sunak, the man who's richer than the king. Growing up, what struggles did you have? What had to be sacrificed, Rishi? Was it bread? Surely not. Hey? Maybe meat, though. Maybe only 3 nights a week. Maybe margarine instead of butter. You know. Sometimes you couldn't afford to put the heating on. Stuff that people struggle with. What do you think it was for Sunak?
Priority.
So what sort of things had to be sacrificed?
Lots of things, right?
Can you give me an example?
All sorts of things. So, like lots of people, there'll be all sorts of things that I would have wanted as a kid that I couldn't have, right? Famously, Sky TV. So that was something that...
Famously, Sky TV.
I couldn't have, right? Famously, Sky TV. So that was something that we never had growing up, actually. But it was...
For my American friends, that's like cable. It's a cable channel. You have to pay for it. It's TV. Unbelievably out of touch.
But again, that's my experience is obviously going to be what my experience was. What is more important are my values.
What is more important my values?
I was raised in that.
I was raised without Sky TV. It's just who's that joke for? And what's the, like, who's gonna go? Yeah, good one. Bearing in mind, the levels of deprivation in this country are such that food banks are running out. People are struggling to pay their bills. We've got no-fault evictions. You've got hundreds of thousands of people struggling, maybe millions. And one of his biggest election pledges right now, or not pledges, like claims, is that if you put Labour in, then your tax bill will go up by £2,000. So I'm sure if you haven't heard this claim, it's already been denied and fact-checked and found to be misleading and inaccurate. But let's just actually have a look at what he's saying with that. He's saying the country is so broke right now that the idea of a £2,000 tax hike would be so crippling for people that they just couldn't afford it. So instead, vote me in, because I'll cut your taxes. £2,000. That's the margin he thinks is going to make all the difference. £2,000. That's how broke people are. This man, who's richer than the king, who had to go without Sky TV, that's what he thinks is going to be the big one. That's what he thinks is going to be the big one. I just find it so remarkable how out of touch and pathetically bad at politics he is. But it's kind of impossible not to watch because it just keeps chugging along. I mean, sorry, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, I'm just wondering what if anything. I mean, is there? Hold on, let's watch another clip. Is there anything this man can do to? It's all on now on Labour fucking up, isn't it? That's what it is. As long as they don't screw it up, the manifesto is tomorrow. They should win. As long as some massive scandal doesn't happen, as long as someone isn't caught eating a bacon sandwich in a terrible way, they should win. And we'll finally have the end of Tory rule in the UK after 14 desperately long years. But some people are still going to vote for him, aren't they? Sky TV. Good one, Richie. Yes. I mean, we did have Sky TV growing up, of course. We didn't even watch it. But, you know, you have to have Sky. But good one. Oh, gosh. Yes, he really is a salt of the earth type. This is the same man who said he had all sorts of friends growing up. You know, upper class, middle class, lower class. Well, not lower class. Famous. That's what he says. Well, not lower class. Well, I mean, not lower class. Don't get me wrong. But all sorts. Yeah, all sorts of upper class friends. That's it. Not lower class. It's just gross. It's just gross. And, you know, it just makes me think that actually, I don't think you should have very wealthy people running a country in general. I think actually part of the reason Trump was so bad, apart from the fact that he's a complete liar and, a convicted felon as well. I think also part of the reason is he's been too wealthy for too long. And Sunak's not been... He's nowhere near as old, obviously, but he's been too wealthy for too long too. I just don't think that's ever going to work. I think even if you... Maybe if you make your money later in life, it could work. But Sunak went to private school. So him not having Sky doesn't work. Trump was a Nepo baby. He was given his fortune. So doesn't work. Maybe if you make it, you're a self-made person somehow, which is rare. The more you look into the super wealthy, none of them are self-made. It's like 1 in 1,000. But I mean, this isn't the only... let's
a lot of the front pages are, of course, covering the Conservative manifesto launch yesterday. They're having a bit of a tricky election, the Conservatives, aren't they? Here's the Telegraph. Sunak promises £17 billion in tax cuts. People have pointed out that even with the plans, the tax burden still rises in the next Parliament, even with those Conservative plans. Daily Express, Tory ambition to deport 100,000 illegal migrants. So he had promised Sunak a relentless...
Just to be clear, this goes back to 2010, when Cameron first got into government saying he wanted net migration to be in the tens of thousands, and it has never been below 100,000 since. Legal or illegal, never. So this whole, I'm going to deport 100,000, I'm going to get migration down, whatever kind of whistle it is, dog whistle or otherwise, it's also just on paper not what they're going to do. Not what they were able to do and not what they're going to do. Why would you believe them? If you've been paying attention for any length of time, there's no world in which this happens anyway. The Rwanda scheme can only take 300 at most a year. The stupidity that it is, that's 300. What was net migration to the UK? I think it was like 500,000 last count, or 400,000. But getting 300 people out on a plane to Rwanda at a cost of millions. I'm sorry. In 2023, net migration was 685,000. Post-Brexit, of course. So they're not even EU citizens, so the right wing will be pissed off about that, won't they? Even though they voted for this shit. I mean, the bigotry is just so ridiculous.
This continual process of permanently removing illegal migrants to Rwanda. And then we've got the Times here. A vote for reform puts Labour into number 10. That's a key message for the Conservatives, and we'll get onto that in our first debate today. The thing that's been picked up, though, most is a clip that's been released ahead of an ITV interview with the Prime Minister, which airs tonight. Now, this is an important interview because this is the one that Sunak left the D-Day commemorations early for. Have a look.
Prime Minister.
Gosh, hello.
Good to see you.
Very nice to see you. Hey, sorry to
I'm
have
well,
kept
thanks
you.
No, not at all. I know you've been in Normandy.
Yeah, it all just ran over. It was incredible, but it just ran over everything.
I'm sure it was.
Ran over. The veterans celebration took a bit long.
Apologies for keeping you.
No, not at all. I'm sure it's a powerful trip. I mean,
Powerful
so
trip, yeah.
pertinent as well.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't give a flying fuck.
Well, this year, you know, considering what's happened in the Ukraine.
Yeah, which I
and,
haven't seen
you know,
President Biden's remarks, but I think that's kind of the echo
Yeah.
of what he said.
Did you get
You
to
haven't
meet
seen
any
him
of the
because you
veterans,
weren't
or
there.
Oh, no,
did
gosh,
you just
lots.
have to do the
Oh,
ceremonial?
lots. Over yesterday and
Okay, yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already spoke to almost everyone that was there.
Okay, that could have been disastrous, Lynn, because he doesn't know he's being. I guess he hasn't clocked he's being taped. Thank goodness he didn't roll his eyes there.
Yeah, I still think it's really damaging for him to even
Very.
say, you know, it ran over, like it's not that important, like it was an inconvenience. Yeah. And we know the importance of the commemorations for D-Day. Yeah. And he does seem really out of touch with how important it is to Britain.
Out of touch, obviously.
And I think that's damaging.
People died trying to kill the fucking Nazis in a world war.
So
Anyway,
he gets asked
there's the other clip
in this interview about being richer than the king as well.
This is good.
When you are wealthier than the king, what do you do day to day to make sure you're still in touch with the...
Here's the thing. Obviously, he enjoys his wealth. And when someone says, or when you check your bank balance and you're like, I'm wealthier than the king, you're probably kind of pretty happy about that. You're probably like, amazing. I'm wealthier than the king. That's a monarch. I'm just a dude. I'm wealthier than the king. But he can't enjoy it, of course. His face, when he hears that sentence...
When you are wealthier than the king...
it's just a slapped arse. Yeah. You're going to use that, are you?
What do you do day to day to make sure you're still in touch with the kind of struggles ordinary people face?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone without something?
Right. So,
Can you give me an example of
all
something?
sorts of things. Like lots of people, there'll be all sorts of things that I would have wanted as a kid that I couldn't have, right?
Loads of stuff.
Famously, Sky TV.
Famously.
So that was something that we never had growing up, actually. But there's lots of things. But again, that's my experience is obviously going to be what my experience was, what is more important are my values and how I was raised. And I was raised in a household where hard work was really important.
When you're in the situation he's in, and we saw this with John Major in '97, everything goes wrong. So the headlines today are, Sunak, I've had a hard life because I didn't have Sky TV, which again looks like a really big gaffe.
I mean, come on, let's get the violins out.
Did he not say that though? I mean, it's you could see the way he said it.
It's hard, isn't it? Because his wife is one of the richest women in the world, and worth 700 million.
All money made by her dad, by the way.
Exactly, but it's still her money, and he shares it. He's married to her. So I mean, he's incredibly rich, and he can't feel what it's like to not be able to. He can use private health, private education. He can't, if he wants a doctor, he doesn't have to ring up and be 27th in the queue and not see a doctor for weeks. He doesn't have to worry about whether he can pay his energy bills or his food bills, like millions of people in this country.
You think that's relevant, Lynn?
I think we're being really unfair to him, if I'm honest with you. No. I think this whole relatability, he's wealthy, the majority of the MPs are not short of a few bob. If we look at Keir Starmer...
Oh, what? MP UK salary, which they recently put it up, by the way. They all voted to put it up. 91,000. That's the basic salary. Okay, and then UK average salary. Why are you giving me weekly? Okay, 30,000. So 3 times the average. So I don't know about not short of a few bob. It's a decent enough wage. I'd love it. 91,000. Give it to me right away. Fine. That's not the same thing as being a millionaire or a multi-millionaire or a billionaire. Do you know how many days you'd have to make £1,000? How many days in a row make £1,000 to become a billionaire? Imagine making £1,000 every day. Every single day, you make £1,000. That's a lot of money, right? Or even better, here we go, I found one. Let's say you save £120,000 a year. You're getting 6% on it. So you're saving that. So you're earning a lot more. You'd reach $1 billion in 107 years. People don't realise how different $1 billion is. 1 million seconds, 12 days. 1 billion seconds, 31.7 years. It's not even close. If you earned a job, $100 an hour, which is a good wage by any estimation, it would take you almost 4,000 years. Almost 4,000 years. So yeah, he is out of touch. And it doesn't matter if MPs are short a bob or two, whatever this woman's saying, it's not the same thing.
Millions of people in this country.
That's relevant, Lynn?
I think we're being really unfair to him, if I'm honest with you. I think this whole relatability, he's wealthy, the majority of the MPs are not short of a few bob. If we look at Keir Starmer, he's still worth 7 million, which most of us aren't. However, I'm disappointed in his approach. He needs to embrace immigration.
You know how Starmer made his money, though? Because he came from humble origins. His dad was a tool maker. He went to a grammar school, which was turned private while he was there. So it's not the same thing. He made his money by being a prosecutor, by being a lawyer. Right? A very good one at that. Very successful. How did Sunak make his money? Two ways. Hedge fund manager who profited off of the financial crash in 2008. And marrying a billionaire, Sion. Someone who didn't earn her money either. Akasha Murty Wealth. I believe she's got heiress, fashion designer. The majority of her net worth comes from Infosys. Her family's tech company, I believe it was her dad who started it, valued at around £59 billion. Okay. So, yeah. That's how he made his money. So what's she got to say?
Aspiration, yeah. Embrace it and say, do you know what? I may not have a similar experience to many people. However, my parents, when they first got here, they really struggled. We faced racism. We faced so many...
No. Hold on. Number one, he didn't say about racism. So that is another conversation that we can have. But he didn't struggle. We just heard it. Not having Sky TV is not struggling.
Challenges, and we still managed to claw our way out of it.
What about you go even further than that? Trump was asked, you didn't pay taxes for 10 years. Why not? And he said, because I'm smart. Why doesn't Sunak just say, I'm rich because I'm smart?
His approach, I think, he needs to embrace...
Oh, shut up. Anyway, it gets me riled up. I'm not going to lie. Politics gets me riled up. Riled right up. But I can't stop. Is there going to be another debate? Sorry, Sunak must drop the game plan.
Picking any particular sport, but you're going to come back from being a long way behind. It is to sort of almost drop the game plan and start playing what's in front of you and do all those things that are slightly riskier that you wouldn't normally do, but they might just
because
change
their
the
debate was so shoddy. I mean, it was so boring. First leaders debate. Is there going to be another next TV election debate? Here we go. Full schedule. Here we go. Policy wonks. In a second time tonight, 12th of June. But I'm going to be on the radio. What time? 7 p.m. Wait, debate schedule at a glance. 7 p.m. June 12th, Sky News. June 13th, 8:30 p.m. Wait, how many debates are there going to be? 3 further debates are scheduled. No, another 7-way debate on ITV tomorrow night. Okay, so it's not all the Sunak and Starmer ones. Yeah, solo in-depth interviews before questions from the audience. Oh, okay, it's not quite head-to-head. Okay. June 26th is going to be the big head-to-head. So we got a while to wait for that. I guess the one tonight might be interesting with some clips and stuff. But yep. Listen, if you're not into politics, this obviously isn't the episode for you. But I don't know. For me, it's fascinating, especially in election this big, where for those of us on the left, we have a chance to get rid of a right-wing government, that we've been toiling under for years. This is an actual chance, and I don't want to hear all of the Tory in a red tie stuff about Keir Starmer. That's enough. Ridiculous. Okay, we'll actually have Tories out if Labour win. It's gonna actually possibly happen. So get out there and vote, and I'll leave it there. The other weird thing that's happened, not in my life, I did go to Poland, did I mention? I dropped my phone in the sea. I got banned from Facebook because they thought I was a Mira Cooper 955. They banned me. I had to get Meta verified in order to get it back because there's no accountability. You just get banned and that's it. If you're banned from Facebook, that's it. Now, I don't really use Facebook. I don't really enjoy Facebook. I don't really enjoy social media. I've been criticised for this before because people want you to use social media for everything. And I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't really engage with it. But I've got a lot of memories on there, and I've got a lot of friends who the only way I have of contacting them is through Facebook. You know, and obviously over the years people drop off of it and stuff, but there's actually I've been on it since university. So there's actually kind of a lot of interesting artifacts on there. And I'm not a Mira Cooper 955. And that was why I was banned. They said, listen, your linked Instagram account to your Facebook, Mira Cooper 955, was guilty of, what was the exact phrasing? Let's find it. Sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in the throat. Here we go. We've suspended your account because your linked Instagram account, Amira Cooper 955, doesn't follow our rules. Log in to your linked Instagram account to appeal our decision. Obviously, I couldn't do this because I don't have that Instagram account. It's not linked. It's not mine. So I can't log into that to appeal anything. I don't know why you can't log in to Facebook to appeal it, but you can't. And so you try and go to Facebook, try and find someone to talk to. That's impossible. They don't have that information anywhere, of course, because it's all just click this help article and you try and fill something in and it just doesn't do anything. It just disappears into the ether, or it just, I don't know, explodes in your face, or it just says, no, you can't submit this. You can't ever talk to a human about anything. But Amira Cooper 955 doesn't follow our rules, so, you know, I was banned. So I had to get Meta verified, which cost £11. It's quite annoying. So I have a check mark for a brief period of time, for whatever that means. Like I said, I don't care. I don't care. So social media is just not my thing at all. I like Reddit. I like cool stuff, man. Who's that guy who, like, what was the clip? I'm not like other guys. I enjoy drama. TV drama. There's this funny clip. I don't know if I can find it. TV. It's like, hey, I'm not like other guys. I don't like action films. You know, I like a drama. I like a drama. That's me. Okay? I'm not saying I'm cool. All right? Let's see if I can find it. Is this it?
Sometimes I mismatch my socks.
You're supposed to match your socks.
Guess what I wear 4th of July with the boys?
What?
Okay, alright. That's not funny or what I was looking for. But yeah, I got Meta verified. So, I'm back on Facebook. And in honor of being back, I made a post. It's my private Facebook. Slightly cryptic. I got 3 responses, including 2 people reaching out to check if I was okay. So that shows how much I care about Facebook and how I use it and how much interaction I get with people on there. I'm not on there to interact with people. I'm on there because if I need to interact with people, it's the only way I can. I've got a lot of friends from Sheffield where that's the way I contact them. I've got chat groups, Messenger, where I'm only in contact with people that way. And I've got the memories on there. So, yeah. You know, I wanted it back. It shouldn't cost me 12 quid to get it back. But then you find, you do a Google search for this, other people. It's happened to loads of people. And there's just loads of people who don't get it back. There's just tons and tons of people on the internet saying, I got this message too. I got this linked Instagram account that's not real. And they just don't get it back. But for us verified folk, with my blue tick, oh yeah, I got it back. I got it back. And I'm verified. I don't know if I've got, I don't think I get a checkbook. Do I get a checkbook in my Facebook? I sure as heck have a check mark on my Instagram. I sure as shit have a check mark on my Instagram. Oh God, why did they? Everything is 2-step. Everything is 2-step verification, and I'm not here for it. But there we go. So I'm verified. Let's have a look at this little verified, eh? Save your login info. Yeah, sure. I'll probably get delisted for this. Save login info. You can't. That's not verified. Okay, this is just showing me a newsfeed. I don't look at Carpet feeding his chickens. Where are you, Carpet? Why haven't you spoke to me in ages, you bastard? View my profile. Look at that! Look at the blue check! Look at that blue check. Let's take a little screenshot. Hello, yes, of course I am verified. Troll. I think the older I get, the more I enjoy the troll idea. Not actually doing it, just the idea of it. There we go. Save. I'm verified. Verified. Now, if anybody asks, I can say, look at this. Look at this. I'm verified. I hardly have any followers. I'm following more than I'm being followed by. Although I don't know who I'm following either, because when I joined Facebook or Instagram, why did I join it? I joined Instagram because of my wife. It gave me a load of things to follow, so I just clicked follow all of these people. I don't know who they are. So my stream, anyway, this is boring, isn't it? But like my feed is just full of I don't know. It's just full of people I don't really know. Hold on. Okay, I've just found something cool though. Is this real? In Cluj, Romania, you can pay for your bus ticket by doing 20 squats. Disabled and elderly people get to ride for free. And there's a picture of a woman doing some squats in front of a machine. Credit to Romania for being the only country with government programs to support a fat-ass citizenry. There we go. And there's Janelle Monáe being ridiculous, as she always is. I'm not just going to scroll my feed and call it content, because it's not. I just wanted to prove that I was verified. Are you verified? No. Now, one of the problems with... This is part of the reason I absolutely hate social media, is all of the rubbish that people post. Oh, God. Just all of the... And... Oh, God. You are kidding. Is that a troll, Layla? Is that a troll? It must be a troll. I don't know who Gail Platt is, but it's some joke about Hamas. The other thing about being on the internet right now as a Jewish person is just the sheer amount of anti-Semitism that you see is really depressing, and it's just daily. It's a lot. It's just endless. It's probably not great for your mental health to just be seeing that much anti-Semitism. Whether or not you think what Israel are doing is justified or barbaric or overkill, pardon the expression, that none of that would justify anti-Semitism. Just like whatever you think about Hamas and the Palestinian struggle for independence, that wouldn't justify Islamophobia. You can't justify hatred of a group by the actions of a people within that group. You just can't. I did philosophy at university. It's true. Okay? Proof. You just can't. You just can't. That's false. I mean, apart from obviously being bigoted and ignorant and stupid and hatred, it's also just not correct. It can't possibly be correct. A group of people is not one entity. It's not homogenous. And I don't buy that. What's that expression? If there's 12 of you having dinner, and one of you's a Nazi, then the rest of the 11 of you are Nazis. It's something like that. I don't buy that. That's not how it works. You can't know everything that's in someone else's heart. Sorry, my neighbours have just started to yell. Oh, isn't it a delight? Isn't it a delight living in busy London town? Although, you know what? It has been really nice in Brixton lately, because even though we haven't had any sun, my lemon tree's doing well though, but the petunias are lovely as well. We had the Lambeth County Fair, and we got to ride the rides just before they got closed down because people got injured. But apart from that, it was lovely. What's this? Oh, and you know what? Kevin Spacey's back.
So I was amazed yesterday, just spooling through X, formerly Twitter, to see that Kevin Spacey given a big interview to Piers Morgan and gone into a lot of detail. And let's just have a look.
What's your idea of bad behaviour when you look back at what you were doing?
Pushing the boundaries.
In what way? I mean,
being too handsy, you know, touching someone sexually,
groping people
in a way that I didn't know at the time they didn't want. Yeah. I agree that the word grope is a very odd word. I personally...
Is it?
I have caressed people. I have been gentle with people. That is the way that I am. You're making a pass at someone. You don't want to be aggressive. You want to be gentle, and you want to see if they're going to respond positively.
Okay, that sounded a bit like a...
Groping people. Groping people. Kevin. Dear, Kevin. You're back. You know, the thing is, of course, is he wasn't found guilty of any of the accusations. None of that stuff that went to court. And I don't know the truth or not of it. I do know that I heard in the acting world, as I think he admits to, a lot of Kevin Spacey stories. And he admitted, I believe, that there were too many of these stories, and that's why he's kind of copping to some of this. But he wasn't found guilty of any of this stuff.
Confession to me.
It sounded really creepy.
It did a bit.
For the simple fact he put two handsy, you know?
And
so he's
caressing
aware.
people?
He's aware that he was too much, that he may have done things which didn't warrant invitation. And that.
So here's the thing, right? It's like, you hear all these stories, and that he knows it. He admits to it, and I ask any of my acting friends. There's so many of these stories out there about Kevin Spacey, and they're all rumors, right? And none of it has been proven, and it's all allegedly. And you know, we go back to the whole logic thing I was talking about, philosophy, all of that. No smoke without fire is not logically true. There can be smear campaigns. There can be just a whole host of lies. A tissue of lies, I believe, is the expression. So I don't know. But the fact is, just because he was found innocent in court doesn't mean he didn't do shit. It's just because the standard of proving something in a court of law is incredibly high and difficult to reach. And how are you going to have evidence for all these accusations that are, some of them, decades old? It's just not going to happen. But does that mean he didn't do anything? Well, clearly not, because he's admitting that he was too handsy.
That is concerning. But I was having a conversation about this. Again, this may be seen to be quite controversial, but historically, if you were dating somebody and you were on a date, and someone at some point has to make the first move. So if you make...
Sorry, being handsy and making the first move are not the same thing. And to be clear, that's not what anyone is accusing him of. And that's not what he's defending himself against. So you're a moron. Who is this person?
That move, and that person is not clear about, I do not want these advances, then isn't somebody going to just continue? I think there's a thin line.
Different. If you've gone out to the cinema, then you've gone to a meal, then you've gone back to somebody's room, and then you try to kiss them, and they say, no, wait, and you say, oh, I'm so sorry, it's a total misunderstanding.
Yep.
No one would have any criticism. This is not what we're talking about. He's caressing people. He's meeting in a work setting.
In the workplace. I mean, it's about
that is very inappropriate.
And it's also about power, isn't it? I mean, more than inappropriate, isn't it? I mean, he
what
knows
else did
exactly
he say?
What he's doing.
Yeah.
Is there any more
I mean,
clips of Kevin?
Kevin. A lot of.
Here we go. There's another clip of him. I haven't seen this interview.
He seems to be on his uppers. Have a look.
Where do you live now?
Ooh. Oh gosh. Okay, hold on. Let's get
like
some
they're
context
victims.
for this clip.
It's insulting for them to have to watch that and hear the admittance of too handsy, yet he was never found guilty.
So he, if you want to see him punished, you could argue he has been, because he seems to be on his uppers. Have a look.
On his uppers.
Where do you live now? Well, it's funny you asked that question, because this week, where I have been living in Baltimore, is being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction. Really? So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage. Why is it being foreclosed? Because I can't pay the bills that I owe.
And he says he owes millions in legal fees. So
He is paying, isn't he?
I think he's paying.
Will anyone go near him in Hollywood to give him some work?
The problem with acting is you've got to be a bit of a blank sheet of paper, I think. You know, Phil, your lovely wife, Kathy's an actor. And I think if you carry a lot of baggage on stage in your personal life, it's really distracting.
He's finished, isn't he? And
I think
he
it
deserves
is.
it, doesn't he?
Any film that he's in now, there's going to be some connection to what has just ensued.
Yeah, well, we've seen cases recently of people who've lost their status, not as a result of crimes, but as a result of accepting bad behaviour.
Some actors support him, though.
Oh, sure. I mean, you can see the guy, maybe he's been overpunished.
Okay. I'm sure some actors do support him, although I've not heard of that. I think there's an interesting claim there that I just want to hear again about this actor blank slate thing. Let's just hear that.
Near him in Hollywood to give him some work.
The problem with acting is you've got to be a bit of a blank sheet of paper, I think. You know, Phil, your lovely wife, Kathy's an actor.
and she's a blank piece of paper. Isn't she, Phil? Your lovely wife. She's a blank piece of paper, isn't she? So fucking rude. No, you don't have to be a blank sheet of paper. What you have to not be is a fucking creep. A power-hungry, groping narcissist. You just got to be able to do the job. That's what you got to be able to do. That's why you get trained for it. You don't get trained to be a blank piece of paper. That's not at all what the job involves. And if you think of who are the biggest stars, who are the biggest, let's have a look. Biggest Hollywood stars. Let's see, 2024. Let's see how blank they are as a piece of paper. Let's see if we can come to some agreement. Highest grossing stars of 2024. TheNumbers.com. Box office. Let's see if the biggest stars are blank pieces of paper. So Kevin Spacey's bankrupt, eh? I mean, it's quite the thing to have him come back. And you've got to think, is he gonna get any work? And who's gonna give it to him? It's kind of like, I mean, it's not right. I was gonna say it's kind of like Johnny Depp. It's not exactly like Johnny Depp, obviously. That's why I said kind of. So there we go. But it's similar in some way in that, I mean, I don't think Depp's been in anything big since, I mean, he won his trial, obviously, but it was a brutal trial. I don't know if you followed it. It was a remarkable trial. I will say that. But the stuff that came out, whether he won or not, the stuff that came out was just so intense and grotesque and weird and hard to wrap your head around that I think people are just a bit cautious now. And he's not been in a big movie since. And it just seems like it's a choice that if you're making a movie, to put Johnny Depp in there would be like, do we want to? So here are the. By the way, I'd love to have him in my movie. Johnny, come along. You can act. Johnny Depp and Kevin Spacey can star in my movie. Highest grossing stars of 2024. Here they are. Dave Bautista is at number 1. Really? He's in Dune Part 2. Notice how I said June. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Knock at the Cabin. What is that? I'm so out of touch with movies. What's Knock at the Cabin? Dave Bautista, number 1. Of course, he's a wrestler, isn't he? Jason Statham, number 2. Really? Fast X. Meg 2, The Trench. The Beekeeper, 66 million. I don't know what any of this is. Sydney Sweeney. She's not a blank piece of paper. Whee! Mark Wahlberg, he went to prison. And now he's a super Christian guy. Have you seen his app? He's got an app. Hello. I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore. What's Knock at the Cabin 2023? It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I didn't know he had another one out. Oh, let's finish on this. Forget politics. Forget Kevin Spacey. Let's see what M. Night's been doing. Oh. If you don't find M. Night Shyamalan's movies fun, then you are missing out. You're purposely having a less good life than you could have. Are they good? I didn't say they're good. Are they fun? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I didn't say they were bad either, though. Don't get the wrong. Don't get it twisted. Knock at the Cabin official trailer. Let's have a look. Oh, man. Kevin Spacey's back and M. Night Shyamalan's back. Boom. Evening sorted. Come on. Does anyone else's YouTube just not work anymore? I even stopped my ad blocker, right? And it doesn't seem to make a difference. So then I re-enable my ad blocker. Because apparently what YouTube does, if you have an ad blocker, is it purposely slows it all down, which is very nice. Thank you, YouTube. It's awfully considerate of you to slow it down. It was going a little bit fast for me, and I just really appreciate that. But I turned it off, and it didn't seem to make a difference. Every other website loads just fine. Just YouTube. See, now I can't even watch a trailer. Look, it's just not even loading. It just goes bleep, 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 bleep. Thinking. I am just thinking. And then what I do is I'll copy the link. I'll open a new tab. See how fast everything works? Everything works fine. Here we go. Knock at the Cabin. M. Night is back. Dude. Oh. Okay, we're starting with the good times.
Oh, we're gonna sing along?
Yeah, starting with the good times. Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's a little girl. She's a cute little girl. She's got 2 dads. Oh yeah, M. Night. And they're out in the forest. Oh my god, who is this though? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, who's this? Is that Dave Bautista? Oh, I didn't. I've only seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy from M. Night Shyamalan. Go on. There's a knock at the cabin.
My name's Leonard.
My name's Leonard.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Will.
Oh, he's doing like a Javier Bardem.
Why are you here?
Voice.
I suppose I'm here to make friends with you. And your dad's too.
If you haven't seen...
But my heart is broken.
My heart is broken.
Why is it broken?
Because of what I have to do today.
If you haven't seen A Country for Old Men... Oh my god. Javier Bardem in that.
There is a woman carrying something that looks like a pick with a chain and a mallet in it.
What is this?
You see, the 4 of us have a very important job to do.
Okay,
In fact, it might be the most important job in the history of the world.
And nice. This looks loads of fun. And by loads of fun, I mean awful. And by awful, I mean awfully amazing.
We were called and are united by a common vision, which has now become a command that we cannot ignore.
Go on. What's it gonna
The
be?
4
though?
of us are here
Go on.
to prevent the apocalypse.
Oh, that's a bit disappointing, actually.
Your family has been chosen to make a horrible decision.
Go on. What's the decision?
If you fail to choose, the world will end.
Is it going to be a Sophie's Choice, do you reckon? Well, I mean, if M. Night Shyamalan says it's good, then it's all right by me. Thank you very much for tuning in to The Bliss of the Abyss. I love you very much. Take care. I'll see you next time.
Thanks
for listening to the show. If you've enjoyed it, please give us 5 stars and consider becoming a subscriber and maybe even supporting us on Patreon. Really, really, really helps me continue making this show. If you haven't enjoyed it, then you can fuck off. Many, many thanks to Nils Hennis-Steer for the amazing music and to Dave Fox for the cool artwork. Please keep coming back every week for more Bliss of the Abyss.
Message 1.